Hello. Welcome to the Empowered Artist Collective podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Apple, a multi-hyphenate actor, educator, acting coach, writer, dog mom, and founder of this vibrant community that champions artists as they carve out their own unique paths in this wild industry. Whether you're just starting out, in the thick of it, or seeking a bit of artistic fuel to expand your toolbox, you're in the right place. In this space, we'll have honest conversations, share actionable strategies, tips, and resources, and delve into the messy yet beautiful journey of living a sustainable, creative life. We unmask the reality of life as an artist, from navigating career highs and lows to nurturing your full human well-being. I chat with women and non-binary guests who share their personal stories, helpful learnings, and hearts to help you unlock your artistic potential, expand your knowledge, and show up fully and fearlessly in your artistry and daily life. Before we dive into this week's conversation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If today's chat resonates with you, please leave us a review. It helps us reach even more incredible artists just like you. And hey, feel free to spread the love. Share this podcast with a friend or post it on your socials, making sure to tag at Empowered Artist Collective and at @JenniferApple_ so we can chat with you there. All right, grab a cup of something cozy, settle in, and let's get to it. How can performers turn the audition process into a collaborative partnership? In our first episode of our casting director miniseries, I sit down with casting director Sujotta Pace to pull back the curtain on the casting process and reframe how actors see the people on the other side of the table. As a former actor herself, Sujotta shares how she collaborates with directors and creative teams to clarify vision, why preparation and bold choices matter more than perfection, and how to book the room, even if you don't book the role. She offers tips for self-tapes, reaching out when a project aligns with your strengths, using your emotions to bring truth to your work, and demystifying the many factors that go into casting decisions. Together, we reframe an audition as an invitation, unpack casting directors as the actor's advocate, and give tips for ways to enter the field of casting. This conversation is a powerful reminder that casting is more about partnership, collaboration, and the shared goal of bringing great stories to life. Enjoy. Sujotta Pace, welcome to our space. Oh my God, look at the alliteration. I didn't even mean to do it. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome.
Oh, well, thank you.
For anybody who does not know you, who are you today?
Today, I am Sujotta. I am a daughter. I came to visit my mom in Georgia. I am a person at peace, filled with joy, and I got to come see my dog. So I'm happy.
That's the priorities. It's real
right?
priorities right
My
here.
dog, that's it.
I love it. I love it. Your energy is already like super contagious in the non like scientific way. And it's even like through a screen and it's really palpable and the yellow is vibrant and it's all working. Professionally, may I throw us into the mix and talk about that journey for you?
Yeah, let's go.
So we love an origin story. You're currently in the casting arena, but I know that's not where you started. And I'm curious how the progression came to be and why and how you're feeling in it. We can kind of go from there.
Yeah. So I have my BFA and my MFA. I started off as an actor. I moved to New York in 2015 to pursue my acting. And I had 3 goals that year: to become equity, to lose weight, and to move to Harlem. And I did all 3 in that.
Yes, you did.
Those were my top 3 goals. And so I started, I became equity and I also jumped into stage management. So I did that. And then around 2018, I started, I don't know if it was like I lost my motivation or it was something, but the drive to be an actor wasn't there anymore for me.
Yeah.
I knew I still wanted to be in the arts, but I just didn't know. So I left in 2018 and said I was never coming back.
Wow.
And then I ended up applying to Actors Theater of Louisville, and they had an apprenticeship program, which they don't have anymore. But they build a company that mirrors the organization. So you had your your artistic producer, you had the directors that came through, your stage management, lights, sound, scenic. So they built a company to mirror that. So I was producing and casting, and then you had like directors and stage
Mhm.
managers and lights and sounds and 20 actors to build this company. And they taught us how to, run an organization basically.
Yeah.
And so I know 2 weeks into it, I was like, this is it. This is
Yes.
what I want to do.
Did you know when you were applying to this, like, how did you know that, initially even to put yourself in that lane?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've always had an interest in casting, but I didn't know
Mhm.
how to get in casting because in school they don't teach you about
Yeah.
casting. Like you have acting and lights and sound and stage management, but you don't have casting.
Right.
And so I knew that in some cases you would do free internships, but I wasn't able to do those,
Mhm.
or even find out how to do them.
Yeah.
So I think just through research, I found Actors Theater of Louisville, and there you could apply to 3 things. So I
Mhm.
applied to casting and producing, and to acting. So I only did two.
Mhm.
Um, and at the time, I did not know that I wouldn't be able to be accepted into the acting because I was equity. And they at that
Interesting.
time they only accepted EMC and non-act. But yeah, they it was so funny because I was like, I don't have any experience. And like 5 minutes before it was due, I submitted.
Yes, you did. No, it just goes to show though, like the amount of times that it's just like there's something there that just like either the stars align or actually this is the thing and people know that even though somebody has to take the leap of faith initially. It has to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I would tell people, "Just do it."
Yeah.
That taught me that, like, just submit,
Mhm.
audition, just go audition. I like to say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You
Mhm.
have to do it. You have to be accountable and responsible for your own journey,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to do it. I know sometimes it may be scary,
Yeah.
but just try.
Mhm.
The worst thing is someone says like, "No, we're not looking for that right now. Maybe
Yeah.
next time I'll keep in touch," because sometimes that next time or I'll keep in touch will come back around.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah, so I went to Actors Theater. 2 weeks in, I said, "Oh, this is what I want to do." I just really love, helping other people get work. I don't know
Mm.
how that might sound, but I always call myself a servant leader because I
Mm.
like to be of service to other people because when other people are happy, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
When they get to reach their dreams, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they achieve their goals, when they, are going after something that they really love and I can assist with that,
Yeah.
it's just like it's amazing, for me to
Yeah.
help them. Yeah.
I love it. I love hearing also your ethos around it too. I think sometimes in various circles there's some misnomer, and I'm going to label it as such, that
Mhm.
somehow like casting directors aren't actors advocates. And for
Mm,
me that like breaks my heart in all of the ways just because I mean, yes, I have like friends who are or I've built relationships over the course of being an actor for however long, and to know them and their own journey personally in the fact that like they are there as the advocate
yeah.
hopefully but mostly that is usually the reason like you believe that this person walking in is going to solve a problem and you get to be the person who brings that person in to solve the problem and you
Yeah.
believe the person to solve the problem like it's really so it's such a misnomer when folks are like the casting director doesn't they're not actually working for me as the actor. Like it's like no, it's of service to the piece and you could be that missing piece
Yeah.
for it,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I love that you brought that up because, it's it's us trying to find the right people.
Yeah.
So it all starts with, the director saying, "Hey, this is my vision." And we're
Mhm.
taking that vision and searching for the right people or the people that we feel may be the right fit.
Yeah.
So we're asking several people to tape. We're watching these tapes. We're asking people to come in. And low key, I'm like in the back when someone does good. I'm just like, Like I react.
Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't, but I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean, we love to feel that when it's happening, and we like if we could see that and feel that,
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
ammo. I
yeah.
love that. Yes.
Yeah, it's we want I really want everyone to feel empowered, feel encouraged. We really do, or like you said, advocates for the actor.
Yeah.
We really want you to succeed. We want you to get the part.
Yeah.
All we ask is that you come prepared. And it's so many reasons why people don't get the part.
Yeah.
It's like we're creating an ensemble and we're trying to create this puzzle piece, put the puzzle together. And it may just be pairing.
Mhm.
It's just like pairing it. Maybe it's a couple, maybe it's a family, maybe someone just came in with a certain delivery that
Mhm.
was more in alignment with what the director was looking for. So many reasons. And I know that there are people that come in that don't get it, but it's just like for us, it's like, I want to know that person. Like I'm
Yeah.
always going to know that person. And I'm always going to bring them in
Yeah.
because they came prepared. They made bold choices and they were just amazing. And
Yeah.
although you didn't, it's like booking the room. Like, yes,
I
you
say
want
that all the time. Yep. Mhm.
like, I already know you want the part, but you need to book the
Yeah.
room because once you get on our radar, the director's radar, the playwright's radar, producer's radar,
Yeah.
it's like, "Hey, have we thought about X, Y, and Z?" Like, I'm
Mhm.
working on a piece, and a producer was like, "Hey, what about such and such?" And but because I knew she would fit,
Yeah.
I had already checked avails and interest and all of those things, and unfortunately, she wasn't, available, but it's like, you know, once you come in and you book the room, people are always gonna remember you, and
Yeah.
when they go to different teams, different casting folks, that's one thing that we ask. We say, "Hey, is there anyone before I start creating these lists, before I start asking people to tape, is there anyone that you want me to check avail and or interest, or do you need to see, need them to come in
Yeah.
person or whatever the questions may be to, get more information." But it's like I think we are really big advocates
Yeah. Yeah.
for um for the actor. And sometimes, yeah, it makes me sad that, actors don't feel that way. And I would love to see how we can, I don't know, like, to,
Support one another more.
well, like to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, is it we create a panel
Yeah.
and we like casting folks and actors and have a discussion, and so they can get a little bit more information of like why certain decisions are made
Yeah.
or
I mean, arguably, that's like why I do these conversations, in some ways, like in the little minuscule way of like individual conversations with various casting folks to see and hear the different philosophies, the way in which people, work, and also the way in which they think and engage, and to get the energy of a casting person that arguably we don't necessarily get that face-to-face recognition or conversation with unless we're in either like an EPA setting when we happen to drop in or we get called in for it. And more often than not, it is a self-tape and we're not even actually even engaging directly, face-to-face with a person. So for me, in my own little corner of the world, this is like the hope of beginning to do that. But I do think that there is, and if anybody is listening and they have this idea of a symposium, of like a version of a speed dating and or like a panel and or an interaction where we all can kind of level play and recognize that we are all freelancing human beings
yeah,
who
yeah.
are all hustling for the next thing and are all trying to collaborate to create a larger, piece. For me, that's, at least that's why you're in the space at the moment, is so that I can begin to like share that to the masses and be like, this is at least where Sujotta's coming from, Um,
Yeah.
Hi, actor friends. Talking to you. If finding the perfect monologue has you feeling stuck, I've got just the thing. I put together a free monologue selection toolkit just for you. It's packed with resources, free and paid options, plus tips for choosing, editing, and customizing pieces to showcase you. Head over to jenniferapple.net/freebie and stop avoiding the auditions that ask for a monologue or waiting for the perfect piece to simply fall into your lap. Dive into this free toolkit that I set up just for you that'll set you up to feel agency over your process and artistry. That's jenniferapple.net/freebie and get started on finding your next go-to monologue. I'm curious for you with, you've talked a little bit now then about like your ethos around it and how you've come to it, which I think is super awesome. And it's so cool to know that it inspires you and you're like, this is the thing.
Mhm.
As far as like your day to day now, then
Mhm.
obviously, like given the ins and outs of having different shows that are running, and then there's the replacements versus the new show that you have to fully cast from the ground up versus the you trying to get new work and putting that on the roster. Like, how does your actual job function before we maybe veer off into like the actor land of it?
Yeah. So it's basically, so if I'm starting from a fresh slate, it's, having a conversation with the director, with the playwright, if it's a new work, um, and getting more understanding of the needs, their vision, um, and then, you know, creating lists of people that we think are right for each role, um, reaching out to agents and managers, postings, doing EPAs,
Mm-hmm.
ECCs of, a musical, um, and just starting like that process of building and then like tapes and
Right.
in-person auditions. And I always encourage, I always tell everyone this. So I know when it comes to me, um, if you see something, right? If you see a posting, I encourage you you can reach out to me and say like, "Hey, I see that you're on this casting team. I really am filling this certain role, this certain play, this certain musical, and I would
Mm-hmm.
love to audition." And so you may be asked to tape, and you may not be asked to tape, and only you may not is because I already know the vision
Right.
of the director of the play and such. And you may just not be a good fit for what their journey is with the play. For replacements, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like reaching out to agents, managers, actors, creating lists, um, and having auditions. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing I think for a new play or new musical, it's you get to bring anybody and
Yeah.
everybody because you're discovering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know the vision. Yes, I know the journey, but I'm like,
But what about
yeah, but what
yeah.
about this person?
Mm-hmm.
What about
Yeah.
this person? And what
Yeah.
about like we could do what about a
Mm-hmm.
lot more, I think, than replacements because you're replacing a role.
Yeah.
You are bringing your own little flavor to it, but it's already built around a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, for a replacement, we're seeing, what can fall in line with what was there
Yeah.
previously
Would you
to
say that
keep.
the majority of your day-to-day is, like, behind a computer, going through breakdowns, seeing like, clicking through stuff and or, like, emailing reps and being like, "Who's available or not?" Or is it more like watching t I mean, or, like, is it, you designate a certain day for, "I have X amount of tapes that I have to watch, and now this is my watching day," or do you, like, break up your day? Or is it like, "Okay, cool, this morning I'm going to an EPA." Like, how are you like, what is your time?
I wish I could be that organized. I was
You're doing great. You're doing great.
No, it really just depends. It's like if I'm working on 3 shows, then
Right.
of course I have to say, "Okay, where are they in
Mhm.
in this moment?" So my days, yes, mostly in front of a computer, whether it be watching tapes, emailing reps, on Instagram, on TikTok, looking for, um, people, and not just because I know people are gonna come for me with
Yeah, they
this
might.
TikTok and Instagram.
They might. They
But
might.
I mean, like, I can look for you on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the TikTok stars. The reason why we use TikTok and Instagram is because I may have seen you in a play, and I'm
Mhm.
just trying to find more about you, like find out
Yeah.
more about you. So when I say TikTok and Instagram, it's for like research. We do a lot of research on YouTube, websites. I encourage everyone to get a website. If you can't afford a website, that's where the TikTok and Instagram comes
Right.
in, because you can put certain information where I can reach out to you. Also looking for readers, so being accessible, right? So, but yeah, I'm in front of the computer most of the time. I carry my laptop everywhere with me, watching tapes,
Yeah.
um, just like doing the thing, reading plays,
Mhm.
and if I'm not in front of the computer, I'm in auditions. You
Yeah.
know, my some of my casting friends make fun of me because they're like, "You're in session more than anybody." Like
I
every
love.
time I call you, you're in session.
Yes. Do you
I know.
like that for you? Like, are you like for between and I guess we can dive into the tapes of it and the in
Yeah.
person of it all.
Mhm.
And there's many feelings, I'd say, around everybody feeling one way or the other for all of it. What do you enjoy most about being in person? What do you enjoy most about being on like watching things over tape? And what maybe is like a harder element for both?
Yeah. I like tapes because I'm introduced to more people.
Mhm.
So now that tapes have become um a bigger thing,
Mhm.
I get to see people that I probably wouldn't have seen like in different countries or in the West Coast, because
Mhm.
sometimes with auditioning it was like, oh, always, like in New York, or if it was regional,
Right.
always in that area. So you're just introduced to so many people by tapes.
Mhm.
Um and that's also like with the social media too, you're just introduced to so many people, so many people's talents.
Yeah.
In person, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
Um, I know, like in my office, they like, it's like they make fun of me because I love an ECC or EPA. I love to go. I'm always volunteering. Like, I'll go,
I love. Yeah.
I don't know. I just love to meet people, and I love to see them in person. And I think for me is because I came from Actors Theater of Louisville. Um, that was a different set of people. And then
Mhm.
so when I came to New York, it's me learning another set of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always helpful if I go to shows, if I go to readings, if I go to EPAs and ECCs, because or just appointment auditions, because it helps me advocate for you better.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah.
I know you and I know your talent, or I'm able to have a conversation with you, then it's like, oh yeah, this person X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C, and 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
Being able to um, have that conversation with the creatives to say, like, oh, yes, this person can bring this, or I saw this person do this other thing.
Right.
Did they bring you, dimension, levels,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love to, and we could do that with tapes too, but it's something about like, um,
An energy. It's an energy exchange in
energy,
real
yeah,
time.
I'm a really big energy person.
Yeah.
So, and you can see, I like to. I don't think people are aware, and rein me in, but
I
but it's
won't.
how you show up in the room, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have your talent, but how do you show up as Jennifer in the room?
Mhm.
Like, yes, you probably had a bad day. And I think I give grace a
Yeah.
lot, because something could have happened
Yeah.
before you walked in this room. So I also allow that to be a part of the conversation, to say, "Oh, I've seen them. I think, something might have happened
Yeah.
today," um, to encourage a callback,
Yeah.
'cause you could have done very well in the piece, but you as and just using you, uh,
Yeah.
Jennifer, you just probably, having a off day, you
Yeah.
know? So I am aware of that, and I like that always is like, "Okay, hmm." This is not them, you
Will
know.
you in real time address that, or will you just be like, okay, I'm offering grace and just seeing that this feels a little off if you know a person, and then you can kind of put that like that layer on yourself?
No, I don't do it because I don't want to call anybody out
Yeah.
in the room in front of anybody because something may not be wrong. But I'm a very playful person. So
Mhm.
if I'm walking you out the room or I happen to see you,
Yeah.
I may say like, hey, X, Y, and Z, everything okay?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because and I do care, because I feel like we are humans too.
Yeah.
And then we are actors. We are
Yeah.
humans, and then we are casting folks. We are
Correct.
human, and then we are directors, and so on and so on and so on. And sometimes we have to remember that.
Yeah.
All of us have to remember that,
Yes.
right? And I
Amen.
understand. And I understand we have to complete this project, but I do care if if you know if something's going on. I'm not like I don't know. Maybe that's the nurturing part of me. I don't know, but I do care if something is, like,
Is
going
affecting somebody. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, that matters to me.
Yeah.
Um, but also on top of that, on the other end, it's how you show up in the room because people ask for references
Mhm.
or how you show up, um on a certain project. People ask for references of folks to see if you're a good ensemble member, if you're going to
Yeah.
be good in certain spaces. So it's just how we carry yourself. I'm not saying like I say be you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we still want to be able, just like in a basic family, we all just want to get along.
Yeah.
So you have to build it like a family because you're going to be with those people
For sure.
for 8, 12 weeks and months.
Correct. I feel like there is this idea that many folks have, and I feel like I try to combat this often when I'm coaching folks specifically around this idea of trying to be interesting and forgetting that like what makes them quote unquote interesting is the fact that they are themselves. Like no
Yeah,
one is them.
yeah,
How and it's such a non-specific question because it's so abstract because we're just talking about like a human, as you were just saying.
yeah,
How do you encourage folks, certainly if there's noise or if there is life stuff or if, they really, really want a part
uh-huh,
or if, how do you encourage folks to really hone in on, embrace, and bring out the version of them that is them, the
yeah.
thing that is like the piece of them that is them?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. I mean, it's just really being yourself, using if you're nervous, using that nervousness
Mhm.
for the piece. How
Mhm.
can you use how you're feeling right now
Yeah.
to stay in truth when you're delivering the monologue or with the scene? I would say you always sprinkle a little bit of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have this character. Yes, you have made all these choices, but you still have to be
Present.
present and you have to sprinkle yourself into that, because I think any role it is we relate to things in some type of way. So whether it be like, oh, I did this a month ago, or oh, my friend is going through this. How can you fuel that? What is the backstory
Mhm.
of you that you can use for
Mhm.
that piece?
What I'm hearing and reflecting back is just making sure that you are looking inward and being
Yeah.
truthful with yourself first and acknowledging where you are and what your life given circumstances are so that you can then show up honestly and authentically to the given circumstances of the piece.
And it's just being prepared. I think that's my biggest thing. Like if a person just made the choices, you
Mhm.
know, the choices that are in alignment with the piece, and you made bold choices, you made smart choices, you made funny choices, whatever those choices are, and you just came prepared. I think that's what woos me more than anything. That like you may walk out the room and it's like, oh, they're not right for this.
Mhm.
but I know they may be right for what I have coming up,
Right.
or they might be right for something else, because we have like
Mhm.
session sheets where we take notes, right? And it's like, oh, I'm a good heart person. Like I'm writing hearts and and
Doodles, I love.
and I'll be like, yes, and stuff. Look, look, I'm y'all biggest cheerleader. I'm telling you.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I'm just like, sometimes I have to catch myself and I'm like, ooh, I got into it a little bit too much. But no, it's just your truth,
Mhm.
being prepared, and just booking the room.
Have you been using the same monologue for years? Are you gearing up to apply for BA, BFA, or MFA programs and need pieces for that process? Or maybe you just have no idea where to even start with monologue hunting? I get it, and that's why I offer monologue sourcing. This is a unique process where I find monologues chosen specifically for you. So many artists pick pieces based on external labels like type or for roles rather than finding material that represents who they truly are. So here's how it works. We'll meet virtually and you'll share all about who you are, your passions, values, beliefs, and everything in between. Don't worry, I will help guide you through this process. Then I'll get to work finding monologues that fit you like a glove. With years of experience sourcing pieces for hundreds of artists, I've seen the difference it makes to have a monologue that genuinely feels like you. So, if you want to feel empowered about the monologues you bring into rooms and use for auditions, I would love to help you find them. And because you're a listener of the Empowered Artist Collective podcast, I'm offering an exclusive rate. Head to empoweredartistcollective.com/podcast promo to register and claim the special offer. That's empoweredartistcollective.com/podcast promo. I cannot wait to help you find monologues you absolutely adore. Let's talk about the self-tapes of it all, because so much of what we do lives in self-tape land. I know this is like a touchy question, but I have to ask it because I feel like I will get flack if I don't. What about the phrasing or the notion that casting directors don't watch your tapes or only watch 4 seconds of it and then they turn it off?
Oh, you're not gonna get me on this one.
I'm not gonna get you. No, I'm not trying to get you. I'm trying to, like, set the record straight. I'm trying to, like, deliver so that we can, like,
No.
realign the
No,
ship.
no, the reason why I say that is so funny because somebody else asked me that question.
Did they really?
No,
Oh, no.
I would say with tapes. So, like, let's use a musical,
Yeah.
right? One, you really have to look at all of the tape, right? And the reason being is that I need to know what I'm looking for, because I may get a 500 tapes, right? And I'm not going to watch all 5 in one setting. Like
Yeah.
you said earlier, I have to organize myself and say like, hey, I might watch 50, 100 this day, this in the morning, and then in the afternoon and stuff. So I think in the beginning of a process, and it's a new process, I'm looking at all the tapes because I need to know like, oh, can you hit that note?
Mhm.
Can you deliver this line?
Mhm.
Can you whatever, whatever that I'm like, oh yeah, they got this or they don't have this,
Mhm.
and then I have to watch another tape and another tape and another tape. So I will say it will get to a point where I automatically know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I may say like, hey, I'm going to watch this much of the beginning and then this much of the middle and then this much
Mhm.
of the end. I'm watching your whole tape,
Right.
but I'm seeing there are key points that I know that you need to hit or this character needs to hit where I'm watching these points. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like I'll write myself a note, oh, well, go back to this person. And then I might go back and to watch the whole tape just
Mhm.
because I'm like, oh, they have it or they don't have it, but they have this. Let me watch a few more tapes and then
Yeah.
like come back. And granted, there are different types of casting. So you
Mhm.
have theater, you have television and film, you have reality, you have commercial, and all of these things. And each casting director has their own system and their own process
So for
for
you knowing that like you have say in a musical situation that like by after you've, like gotten into the groove and identified for yourself like okay, these are the things. As we as actors don't necessarily know specifically that these are the moments that have to be landed. We're
yeah,
just like trying to, give a full story. Um what are some of your recommendations in a self-tape space? And I guess we can also just pull it out a little bit, as this is something that now is expected of all of us actors to be able to like, film, light, sound, edit our
yeah, yeah.
situation. What have you found to be some of the most successful in addition to obviously understanding the like be prepared, bring
Yeah.
yourself part of it? What's a successful quote in quotes self tape?
It's the same thing of it like an in-person audition. I don't
Yeah.
think it's I don't wanna say it's a right or a wrong, certain things, you wanna have sound, you wanna have all of those elements, but I truly believe, like, you capture a person,
Mhm.
like, the energy, like, how are you throwing your energy through the, camera with those first couple of lines,
Yeah.
your delivery, um just how you're going about it. I don't know, it's like self-tapes for me are just so tricky,
Yeah.
you know? It's just because you may be auditioning for one thing and you may not pull it off very well, but then I get another tape for something else and it's like, "Oh, wow." I think it just really just comes down to the role
Yeah.
and the choices you make. Like for a musical, you have to hit certain notes. I could
Mhm.
say that, like, you have to hit certain notes. And I would say really follow the directions. If they're saying like, oh, this person really needs to be a belter or does riffs or does X, Y, and Z, really pay attention to that because I see a lot of the times that like we may put directions in there like that and people don't follow them.
Mm.
So therefore, because you don't follow them, then you don't it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't follow the directions.
Yeah.
And following directions is very is key. And it's not because I just want you to follow the directions, it's because that character needs to do a certain thing. And in order for me to share your tape
Right.
to the creatives, because this is something that they asked for, I
Mhm.
need you to present that. So then I can say, then there goes me advocating,
Right.
like, okay, they did this thing. Oh, yes, I know them because they did this, this, and
Yeah.
this. And so you have to help me help you.
Yeah.
You know, it's a type of thing. It's a lot of singers and actors that I really love, and then they just don't hit that mark, and it's like, well, I can't offer that tape.
Yeah.
Uh,
What happens I mean, I guess I'll speak on behalf of myself, right? We're like, let's say, you get an audition and it's maybe like
yeah,
a new casting team, or even
yeah,
if it actually isn't, or it's been a hot second since the casting team has called you in for X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's they haven't had a show that you've been right for, or it's already been cast, or whatever the reasons are. You get this audition and you're like, cool, I'm really trying to book this metaphorical virtual room, but I'm trying to book this room. And then you send out your tape and it goes into the ether and you release and you accept and you hopefully move on and
mm.
you pray and do whatever else you do with your practice. How do you recommend for folks who are like, cool, I now haven't heard again from this casting office in X amount of months. And now I begin to think like, do they hate me? Did I totally mess this up? Do I, will I ever work again? Whatever the spiral that these actors, go through.
Yeah.
What would be from your perspective, I would imagine a lot of it is like the puzzle or, like are there what is the situation that like you would never call somebody back in or they would be like bumped to the bottom of the recesses of your mind or like why I guess do we do that? I mean, I'm not the like psychosis of why do actors like spiral because that's a whole other conversation. But like how do we trust on our back end of things that like just because you haven't heard and you hear just now and then not again for a while that it isn't you?
So do you mean with that project or just hearing from that?
Both. Yeah, like that project specifically. Let's say you were like, "You know what? I nailed this audition. I actually feel for
Uh,
the first time in my life, I nailed this. I made some bold choices. I hit all my notes. I worked really hard. I did a lot of prep. My lighting, my sound, my look, everything was on point. It's like my ideal audition, and then
Yeah.
crickets. So
Yeah.
that for both of like, yes, the role and also the office.
Yeah. I think for the role, it goes back to what's needed
Mhm.
or the conversations that have been had with the creative team, with the casting team. Um, like things change.
Yeah.
Sometimes we may ask you to do a certain thing and something in the back may change. We may get more information about something. Um, we may be placed on hold,
Mhm.
and it has nothing to do with the actors. We may be being proactive and saying, okay, we know we have to do X, Y, and Z, so we're going to get this done, and then we may get some information to hold, or we
Mhm.
may um yeah, just get information to hold. I think that if you're always being asked, and then on the other end, if you're always being asked to tape, it's like we see something in
Yeah.
you. And I totally get it. And I totally get it that it's like, well, book me. Like I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. But it's so many factors. I'm telling you, being on the other side of the
Yeah.
table, I'm just a lot of the times it's just like, oh man, like it's our feelings get hurt.
Mm.
We get disappointed because certain decisions, you know, um, because of certain things, certain decisions, or it could just be different factors. I guess I just don't have a set answer
Okay.
because it's just like things happen. And I
Yeah.
know that's not like an answer people really want to hear, but it's like really things happen. It may be that, yes, you killed the self-tape, but it's not what we're really looking for
Yeah.
um at the moment.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, maybe for something else.
Yeah.
Or it may be that you really didn't hit the note or you really didn't deliver it a certain type of way. Um, it could be all different types of factors.
Again, like, I'm not asking you questions that have real answers. I'm kind of just, like, airing what I know tend to be common thoughts,
Yeah,
feelings, and
yeah.
questions that people
No.
have, and it's tough because, again, like, being on the actor side of it myself, when it's like,
Yeah,
cool, like, this casting office hired me for a really big gig, and they literally haven't called me in years. What? And then you start to go down a spiral, and you're like, "Actually, stop it.
yeah.
Look at what they're currently casting. Are you right for any of
That's
these
what I was
things?"
about to say.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
it's
was
like,
about to
"No,
say.
you're actually not." Maybe they don't
Yeah,
know that you are in theory, and then maybe that's up to you as the artist to be like, "Hey, FYI, like, I know you know me in this capacity. I would love to be considered for this. I know you don't know me in this way. Would you be
yeah,
open to seeing me in
yeah.
this new light?" But, I'm only bringing it up just because I know it's the thing that people think, but not necessarily
No,
because there's a real answer.
no, but no, but to that point, it could be that. It
Yeah,
could be strictly that of like, hey, has what is the person casting now?
yeah,
Am I right for that stuff?
yeah,
And if not, I do encourage you to reach out and say like, "Hey," or have your agent or manager reach out and say like, "Hey, I would love to be considered for X, Y, and Z." Because for me personally, sometimes, I may be creating a list, and I'm trying to think of everybody,
right.
and I'm trying to think of everybody, and I'm sitting with this list for days, and I get an email, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
thank you for emailing me. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not gonna tell you, "Thank you, Reese,"
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, "Thank you," but I'm just like, "Oh, I totally forgot about this
Yeah,
person," and it could have been someone that's, that, like, I hadn't seen for a while,
right.
but really fits that role, so it's like a partnership, it's a
Mhm.
collaboration, and it's like a closed mouth doesn't get fed, and I understand that we should know the actors. We should know everybody's talents,
Yeah.
but we're only human, just like everyone else. So we're like building these lists. We're making suggestions. We're calling people in,
Yeah.
but it's like a partnership and a collaboration. It's us building lists. It's agents and managers pushing people. It's
Yeah.
them submitting people to the breakdowns. It's also actors saying like, hi, like you don't know me or you do know me, you came to see this, or it's actors inviting us to things and saying like, hey, come see me.
Yeah.
I know you know me this way, but I would really love for you to see me like this. And that's just suggestions. We don't have to take them, but it's just like for me, it's just like, how can we collaborate more
Right.
and maybe stop like, oh, they don't love me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, on our end, it's like, oh, they hate us,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not, and I know it's not like that for everyone. Like for casting, it's like we bring you in and we're like your cheerleaders, right? And so it's like we are so happy when you do the thing, and even when we watch tapes, it's like, oh, watch this tape. I work with different people, so I might be on one project and they might not be. I'm like, oh, they're not really, in alignment with this project, but I know someone that's doing something else, and hey, you need to see this person, right? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about that too for yourself, right? Like you work roundabout C12, you work like freelance. You're kind of in a bunch of different pockets. How does it work differently when you are working for, say, an institution or a specific casting office versus yourself? Does it change, or is it just more like we now have more, folks in the mix that we have to collaborate with?
yeah, no, I think it's pretty much the same. It's just like with an institution, you have a season.
Right.
And so the artistic team with the artistic producer comes up with a season and then connects with casting and saying like, hey, how can we cast this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of new works. We do a lot of revivals. So seeing how we can work with all the, all the people to achieve that. And then with C12, we do a lot of commercial work,
Mm-hmm.
workshops, readings, off Broadway, regional and things like that. So it's just like working with other institutions. So like, let's say with C12, we may work with ART.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just collaborating with them to see how we can help them with that show for their season. And then for freelance, I think it's just really the same thing. Me working with creatives. I made co-cast. So like for Cats, I co-cast Cats with Victor Vasquez. Um, so just me and him working together to see how we can uh cast the best people,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the role. So I would just say the the only difference is I'm not freelance with Roundabout. So I am an employee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I freelance on the side. So
Yeah.
it's like what an actor would do or a director
Yeah.
would do. So
Can we talk about some of the work that you've been working on and have worked on? I mean, if you really think about like the scope of your work, it's been so eclectic and awesome. It's like you have Anne Juliet, you have
yeah.
Operation Mincemeat, you have English, you have Cats, you have Home, right? Like you have like it's like a real breadth of pieces. I feel like there are some casting directors who, for better or for worse, whether they want this or not, they also get pigeonholed and like, you do this so well, let's stick you on the big boisterous commercial musical forever. And maybe they love it, or maybe they're like, actually, I don't really want to do this really like subtle play over here, but like, no, I guess I'm niche down similarly to actors. Like for you with this big breadth of work, is that something that you've sought out? Has it kind of fallen in because of the various, whether it's Roundabout C12 or is it like, hey, y'all, this is actually why you want to hire me because I can see
Yeah.
visions in all sorts of ways? Like, what has that been for all of that?
Yeah, so just going back a little bit with Roundabout and C12 casting. So in that area, I'm an associate. So I'm a casting associate. And then for my own thing, I am a casting director, but I also freelance as an associate.
Mhm.
So I think when it comes to Roundabout, it's more of like I said, I think we're really good about picking diverse pieces. that speaks to the masses, like home and English.
Yeah.
And then we have liberation. And in our Black box, we had covenant.
Right.
I think in 2023 that I worked
Yeah.
on.
With York, who went to
With
ACT, where it was my MFA.
Oh, dope.
I mean, York is old. York was like above me, but we went to the same MFA. So
shout out York.
yeah, I love.
So you have that end, and then I think the same thing with like C12 casting. So my two supervisors have their company within that, and then they choose certain things that aligned with what their strengths are or what they desire, right? And then with me, it's like I think what fulfills me artistically, like, oh, I'm down for that. Oh yeah, I'm down for that. So like when Cats was presented to me, I was just like, oh yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be very dope. And just I guess when projects come to me and reading the story, seeing who's attached. And I don't know, I've been I guess lucky enough to work on a lot of pieces that really speak to me artistically and that I love and that I'm able to give, people opportunities.
Yeah.
Opportunities for. So it's just crazy. My journey has been crazy. I'm just like,
yeah.
Just thinking about it now. I'm just like, wow, like
you've done a lot. You've done a lot.
Well, when I don't know if I'm shooting myself in the foot or whatever, but I started in 2019.
You better.
When I say like, what do you desire? How do you know you wanted to do certain things? Or like even with acting and the actor, like, does it fuel you? Like, do you get up every morning and like you wanted to run those lines, you want to learn that monologue, you want to go to the auditions? It's like, what fuels you? And I feel that even though I always say always get paid, but my measure of thing is when I forget to turn in my invoice. Or I forget to say, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get paid on that. Or because it's like,
you're fulfilled.
I'm fulfilled. Like, yes, the money matters and I need it to live and eat and sleep and all of those things. But when you're doing the work and it's like, oh yeah, like this person and this person and X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's when, like, oh, this is for me, like, money is essential, but it's like when you forget about it, it's like, oh wow,
yeah. For folks then who are thinking in their own way, whether it's like they're actually in undergrad and there isn't a specific, casting director track, or it's folks who have maybe decided similar to you that they went down, say, an actor or director track and they're like, actually, maybe I might want to pivot, or, folks having a calling into the arts generally. And they're like, I actually think it's directly into casting. Like, what do you recommend folks to start out or to try to find their way into it, if that is the thing that they are trying to actually enter into as a profession, rather than the way in which we engage as actors, just solely with you?
Yeah. So a couple of things I would say, admin work. So like, if you can learn about stage management, because that's one thing that I wouldn't, like, when I created my casting producing resume, I wouldn't add stage management. But when I would have an interview, that would come up and they would say, oh, you need to put that on your resume, because any admin work, if you're front desk somewhere, because casting is a lot of paperwork. It is a lot of, it is a creative, because we're thinking about things, piecing everything together. But like paperwork, especially with television and film, I don't do too much of that, but I know it's a lot of paperwork, so that would work for that. But I would also say reach out to casting folks, whether it be, other assistants, associates, or directors, and just say like, hey, I have an interest. Can I shadow you? Or can I help you do something? Or can you just chat with me? I would just say like, just reaching out to people and seeing if you just can have that conversation to say like, hey, I'm interested. What was your journey? What do you think? This is what I what my background is.
Yeah.
And maybe they can help navigate you. Cause I know I'm really big on that. Like, I'm just like, oh, you can come shadow, like if you just want to sit in a room. I'm just more strategic on like the creatives that are
Yeah.
like in the room to say, like, okay, like I know they will help guide and they will like that fuels them as well.
Mhm.
So like my one of my former supervisors, now friends, Emily Tarquin, they picked me to be the producing and casting
Mhm.
apprentice. And I love putting people in the room with them
Mm.
because they have the same motivation or the same
Mhm.
underlining of like nurturing or, just saying like, hey, I'm here. What
Yeah.
and having those conversations, like picking their brains and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Thank
cool.
you for that. Yeah, I think, it's interesting because there isn't the direct pipeline for it. And that's arguably why I have, folks in the same title of position come on to talk about the position so that people can see the way in which people enter and exit and recognize that in this ecosystem that we're in this industry, there is no one right way. And there's certainly no one way generally for people to even get to those points of their career. And I think it's important to highlight that, you know?
And I want to encourage because I am on the older side. Not gonna say my age, but I am on the older side.
Older is relative. Older is relative.
But I will say that let's just say when I went to Actors Theater of Louisville, I had big people's bills. I had worked for the city of Atlanta government. I have had several, other jobs.
Mhm.
I went to, end up going to grad school later on and never never feel defeated.
Mm.
Like because, apprenticeships, they gave us what they could. Like this was my journey. I would get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and go to FedEx
Wow.
and work until like 9, rush back to my apartment, get dressed, and go to the theater from like 10 to like 6 or 10 to 5 or something like that. And then I had another job at Cocheck.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And so you
And
slept when? You
but
slept
I had my computer. So when I was doing Cocheck, I had my computer that I could also work. And it wasn't like every day, like FedEx and the theater was every day, but Cocheck wasn't every day. And it was just, but I was so excited about it.
Mm.
Like sometimes I would stay in the office and the security guard, I knew when that elevator came, I said, I'm coming. Like, making noise. Like,
Oh my god.
I just it excites me. I don't know, like sometimes I stay in the office until 11 and 12 here at Roundabout, just like on the computer
Mm.
working, and stuff like that, or going home, staying up late at night. And I don't know, like casting really fuels me, motivates me.
Yeah.
I'm really, I guess, in love with
I
I'm
love
very
it.
with it, and I just love to I don't know, it's like it makes me happy, the casting, but like I said, it also makes me happy when people get
Yeah.
their dreams, and I don't want anyone to feel like if I can leave you with anything, like I don't want you to feel that we are not advocating
Yeah.
for actors, that we don't want you to get the job. Um, you just, I hope you just understand that it's like a lot of factors
Yeah.
that sometimes aren't in our control or
Or in our
j
control.
yeah, or and the thing is, just to be totally transparent and honest, it's one role.
Yeah.
It may be a cast of 10, but that's like 1 of 10,
Yeah.
and we're bringing the best people in, so if we're asking you to tape, it's because we love your work.
Correct.
You made it, you just didn't hit the mark at that moment, but that doesn't mean
Yeah. You
you're
got
not
that audition.
good, you're not talented or whatever, because if we keep on asking you, and that's the thing, if you keep, like, if your name, like, we're asking you to tape, we're asking you to come in, is because we want you to book the role. You know, we see something in you, and we're going to continue to call on you. I know you could feel defeated, but I would say just keep going.
I love it.
Well, you just got to keep going for it. It's just like, you know, if that's your thing, if that's your jam, keep going for it. Because if, like I said, if everyone's you know, if this office is calling you, if this office is calling you, then, like, see, I start rambling and my words start when I get excited. Like, I'm excited. I feel it. Like, oh, I'm excited.
It's good. It's good. No,
people to know that they're appreciated. Like,
Yeah.
actors, like, we appreciate you. We
I love it.
appreciate that, like, this office is telling you to tape 2 songs and a monologue, and this office is asking you to tape 3 scenes, and this office, and it's all happening at one time, and we totally understand, and we want you to know that we truly appreciate you. You
You're
know?
awesome. You're great. I love it. Thank you so much for just showing up with so much zest and clear love for what it is that you do. Like, it's so obvious. And I'm so grateful that you graced us with your presence, with your brilliance, with your
Thank
knowledge
you.
here in this space. For anybody who does want to reach out, hire you, and, or, you know, ask the questions or want a shadow or whatever it is, what within your best boundaries is the best way for people to reach you?
Yeah, you can email me. Instagram is just at Sujotta, at SUJOTTA. And then my email address is Sujotta casting at gmail.com. So SUJOTTA casting at gmail.com.
Thank you so much for being in this space.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it for today's episode. I hope you walk away with some fresh insights, feel inspired, and a little more empowered to take the next step on your artistic journey. Remember, whether it's a small shift or a big breakthrough, every step forward counts. You've got this, and we're here cheering you on every step of the way. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll never miss out on the discussions we have each week. And if something today really resonated with you, please leave us a review. It truly is one of the best ways to help other artists find our podcast and join in on the conversations. Plus, we feel the love too when you do. And don't keep all this goodness to yourself. Share this episode with your people or post about it on social media. Be sure to tag at Empowered Artist Collective and at @JenniferApple_ so we can see what's landing for you and keep the conversation going. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Keep creating, keep thriving, stay empowered. I'm Jennifer Apple. Until next time.